Welcome to Follow Me Friday with
Joan
and Priya.
I thought you were going to have me say it for a second.
What?
You paused. I thought you were going to have me say it for a second.
I know, I forgot. I was like, wait, what day is today? You know, my dad has to text our group sometimes to tell us what day it is. Not kidding. Not kidding. That's what this has done.
Yeah, well, my kids ask me all the time, what day is today?
What's today? Like, does it really matter? If today were Saturday or Monday, what would be the difference really when you think about it?
Well, between doing work and not doing work, that's the difference.
Not really.
Well, I've been turning off. Like this past weekend, I was just like, I ain't doing crap.
You could turn off during the week, especially because your kids are almost done with school.
Yeah, but now it's like crunch time. I got calls from teachers. Teachers are calling me like, hey, is Ava okay? Is she doing her work? But I've asked all the teachers, all the kids are going through this stuff. Like it's been so hard for them to do the whole virtual thing because it's mundane, it's boring. I'm talking about their point of view, and then they have to manage their time properly, and it's hard. It's just hard for them.
You know, it's really interesting. Remember we talked to Nancy Snell, the calendar queen?
Yeah.
So I'm working with her now.
Uh-huh.
She read me the Riot Act.
Uh-oh.
The other day because
What'd you do?
I didn't do what I promised. I didn't get the form, the intake form to get us really started.
Uh-huh.
Like she really wants me to do her program very strictly so that I get the most out of it. And what I realized from that was this is me as an adult with a successful business.
Yeah.
That like I got my act together, but I can't really get it together some days. I can't even imagine what a younger kid who's never had to do this on their own is going through.
Yeah, and you know what? They're not on their own. The teachers are trying their best to be like, they're constantly reaching out. They're like, do you need help? What can I do for you?
They've never had to be alone in it, like physically. Like, yeah, they've got you and stuff, but you're not the only one. I can't tell you how many friends of kids of different ages that are going through this. Some are doing really well.
Yeah.
They get everything done in advance. They've got advanced homework. They get that done. And then some, like one of my friends, her daughter hasn't done her math homework in an entire month of May. And she's failing math.
Well, I had Liam do the same thing this past weekend. He did maybe 30 something assignments. On Saturday and Sunday.
It's hard. It's challenging. I'm not going to say the word hard. Everything is challenging.
It's very challenging
for everyone.
And I feel for them. It's like, I feel for them. You know, I don't like that stress for them.
I mean, this is stress. This is stress for everyone. No matter what. I was just reading an article that solitary confinement is probably the worst punishment they could give to an inmate in prison, more so than any torture or anything else. The idea of not being connected to another human being.
Dang, it'd be like a Mr. Wilson kind of situation.
Mr. Wilson.
You know, with what's his face, Tom Hanks, Mr. Wilson.
Oh, Wilson, the soccer ball.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I forgot about that movie, Castaway.
Dude, it's a classic.
I gotta watch Castaway again.
You know what? That'd probably be a great movie to watch.
That's a really good idea. He invents there's a commercial where she invents friends and she puts little eyeballs on them like a mug and a plant. You know, and
we're all doing right now.
Where I live, I probably wouldn't see as many people. Like our friend Jill that's going to join us shortly. Yeah. She's in Oneonta. She doesn't see anybody.
She sees turkeys.
She does see turkeys.
And beers.
Yeah, and trains, if you could call that. No, it's really, really interesting. So it's fun. Today, our topic is saying heck yes to health and wellness during and post-COVID.
Yes.
We were going to originally, I remember we said we were going to originally incorporate the word beauty, health and beauty, you know, getting fit and stuff. But health and wellness is so suiting for this because your physical is affecting your mental.
And you know what? I've gained so much weight. Like y'all can't see it, but
Because we're all wearing white today. How weird
Yeah.
are we? We do this every week.
And we didn't arrange it, people. This is us.
We do this every week. And wait, does anyone want to notice that I dyed my own hair?
Bring it out. But it looks gorgeous.
You like it? I used the wrong color.
Is it like a red?
I couldn't get my color, so this has like a cherry in it. I don't know if you can see. Let me get closer.
It's pretty. It's fun for the summer.
You like?
Yeah, I love it.
Darker than I wanted it.
It's fun and sexy. You inspire me. Maybe I'll dye my hair this week.
And I put my red lipstick on. We're all ready to go. So yeah, I'm really excited. So I feel like I'm in a little kiddie chair right now. I feel weird.
But your lighting's great. That's what counts.
It's lighting. So I went to Central Park last night or 2 nights ago and had a little picnic. And then I've been walking to different places with a mask, with gloves, with everything, like Times Square and St. Patrick's Cathedral saying prayers out front. I've just been walking a lot, just wanting to feel connected. And I will tell you, outside my window, the traffic has picked. I just spit, sorry. The traffic has picked
We didn't
up.
notice.
No, I know, you wouldn't even see it. I had to tell you though. I have to tell you, the traffic has picked up.
Yeah.
And there's more and more activity, including last weekend, Memorial Day weekend, way more people coming out. And I'm still a little like, okay, wait, let's go slow.
So let me tell you what happened to me. So we went hiking at Palisades and it was packed. So there's an interstate park right off of the George Washington Bridge here in New York City.
Yeah.
And there were so many people there, more than usual. Because usually when we go, we love going hiking there. It's always like a moderate amount of people. Anyway, there was a lot of people not wearing masks. And I think it's because they think they're in the forest. They're not in contact with anybody, but you are. We kept on bumping into groups of people.
I don't like it.
We were at some conjunction. We had our masks on, by the way.
You did.
And, Wade brought his
photos of you.
Yeah.
And driving in your car over the bridge.
Yes, it had a big flag. It was so beautiful. It was so beautiful.
That was the George Washington Bridge, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so we were about to merge with a group walking in the forest, and they weren't wearing masks, and the lady in the front decided to come running down, and meanwhile it's like a small path, and every time some people come by, I'm trying to get the kids out of the way. I don't want the kids to be in contact with anybody.
Yeah.
She comes running down, and Liam's standing there. I'm like, stop.
That is so not good.
I'm like, stop, you don't have a mask. So I got Liam out of the way, and then she kept on running. And then the two dudes that she was with, and the two dudes that she was with kind of like stood off to the side because they saw I was like flipped out and let Wade pass. But
I have to say that makes me a little bit nervous. It really does.
I don't know if they think they have superpowers or something. I don't know what's wrong. It's so upsetting.
This whole thing is strange, and it makes it a little bit, we don't want to believe that it's still possible to get sick, but we don't know if it's not. So you're taking a chance. I just don't want to have been in a house and really away from my family and people and hugs for 3 months for nothing. I don't want it to go back.
100,000 people.
I'm going to wear it, and I'm gonna just keep wearing it and take the precautions.
Yep, and 100,000 people are dead, y'all. Wear your mask. That's the least you could do. All these shops and stores tell you, they tell you, make sure, they tell you, you can't come into the store unless you have shoes or a shirt, right?
Yeah.
There are rules in society. You can't drive on the opposite side of the road.
No masks walking on the street in the park on the weekend, too. And it's like where you went here, it's like, well, the rule, I don't know the rule exactly if it's that you can't wear it just in stores, but you could potentially, if you're with people, not wear it in public, but it doesn't really make sense not to. Just wear it right now. Just wear it. If you're sitting and not walking, fine. If you're with a group of people and you're socially distancing, fine. But it's for both of us.
Yeah.
It's for me and it's for you.
Exactly.
Just a little longer. And, who knows? I just heard that there's a conference that may happen at Javits in October. And I don't know. We'll have to get an event planner to tell us and talk to us about
Well,
it.
the Comic-Con happens in October. I don't even know if it's happening anymore.
The marathon, they said, is not happening. I mean, how could they go back to doing it when they don't know for sure whether or not you can still get it or not get it? That's what makes me, I think, so nervous, is the not knowing.
Yes. I think we need to wait it out.
We want to open, we want to do, I want my hair done in a salon. We want all of this.
Yeah.
But we also don't want to go back to having to be in the house.
Yeah. Like, I'm not taking the train into the city or the bus.
I'm not taking the train right now.
Unless it's an emergency. I'm not doing any of that.
I am going to go visit our friend in Oneonta, Jill.
We should bring her in.
Let's bring them in. You ready? Let's bring him in. Here they come. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome, everyone.
Oh.
I can't unmute Erica. For some reason, she's like totally muted. Why does that happen to me? I don't have the power I think I have.
Weird.
What does Joel have on the background? Is that his kid?
That's a kid sitting with, no clothing on. Yeah, there you go. Maybe we should close this video for a few minutes. Well, I'm really excited. Well, welcome to Follow Me Friday with
Joan
and Priya. And today we are saying heck yes to health and wellness during and post COVID, which we don't even know when post is going to be.
It's sort of happening now for people in the country, but we're all like 15 pounds heavier. So, well, not you guys.
Belt and it doesn't fit.
Us, maybe, not you guys.
The doesn't fit, so I got rid of it. I'm like, I'm not even gonna look at this anymore.
So we thought it would be a great idea to bring the experts on, including our buddy Joel, and talk about this, because what are we gonna do?
Yep. Jill was going to take us into her basement and show us her dust collecting, spider web filled exercise equipment, but we decided maybe we don't want to see it.
Yeah, that's okay.
All right, well, I am very excited for the show. Priya, would you introduce our guest, please?
Sure. I got to put on my glasses. Hold on.
That's like me.
We did this last time. Let's all put on glasses. We'll make you feel better, even though I only wear them for reading. I'll read my chocolate bar as I listen to you.
So with us is the fabulous Lisa Mateo. She is a New York Emmy Award nominated journalist, TV host, certified personal trainer, motivational speaker, mother of 2 amazing kids, and the wife to her college sweetheart. Welcome, Lisa.
Oh, thank you.
And let me introduce. So I have 2 phones here. With our 2 bios.
I love it.
And our fabulous Erica Bogano is the founder of Total Fitness Evolution. She has been a fitness industry veteran with over 20 years of professional experience. Wow, that's a lot. That experience grounds her in her work and has helped her to be a master and stay tried and true to her training techniques that get results. So welcome, Erica. We're so happy that you're here.
You know what's funny, Priya? You, me, and Jill are wearing white. We have no clue what Joel is wearing, but his kid is wearing white diaper or something. And Lisa and Erica are both wearing red.
Yes.
We didn't plan that.
We didn't plan anything.
Neither did we.
Every week is the same thing for us. We wear the same colors.
You wear the same colors.
Or patterns.
It's so funny. So we really were lucky. We got the chance to really get to know these women a little bit on a couple of weeks ago when Dee Rivera, our very good friend Dee Rivera, hosted the Latinista magazine cover girl.
Excuse me, guys. Hold on.
Oh my God, who's playing music? Is that you, Pri?
I have Dave's phone in my room. Okay, so I have to edit that out.
Oh, why would you edit it out?
Wait.
Who's calling you? Remember last time your bank called you when we were doing a thing and you got your PPP loan?
No, I don't have a confirmation yet.
Well, you got a call from your bank. Nobody gets a call from their bank. So that's kind of, you gotta always answer the phone when it rings. Always answer the phone when it rings. You never know who's buzzing you.
True.
Yeah.
I know who's buzzing me. I have a yellow jacket in here. So if I jump, You know why.
I love it. All right. Well, this is awesome because these two ladies are amazing. And we want to start. Let's start with you, Lisa. Okay. You went from Emmy award-winning anchor to health and wellness guru. Talk to us about that transition.
Sure. Yeah, I was always like an athlete at heart. In high school, I was like most athletic, but then in college, like I just like, whoo, that was the end of it. And between eating everything and drinking everything, it was crazy. So I kind of went off track. But so it's always,
30.
yeah. So it's always kind of been with me, that love for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just decided to make that change because I love news, I love broadcasting, but after a while, it's a hectic schedule. And getting up at 2 a.m. every morning and living on 4 hours sleep every day and being away and missing holidays with the family and all that kind of takes a toll on you after a while. So I kind of had to sit back and say, you know, what's more important, my physical and mental health, you know, or, you know, something else that used to fire me up, but now this like fires me up. And I still get to, you know, do broadcasting news as well. But now I have that, you know, that passion, you know, that I get to fulfill at the same time. So it's great.
I love
That's
it.
awesome. That's awesome
Yeah.
that you're able to do that.
Yeah.
And what about you, Erica? So you've been doing this for 20 years.
Okay, so the funny thing is, this is not what I went to school for. I know. And actually, I think that Lisa and I, we should share, Lisa, that
Yes.
we actually know each other. Like before even Hatsanista, we figured it out because I was
Yes.
like looking at her like, I know who she is. But anyway, I actually worked in financial services, Wall Street for close to 2 years. Yes.
What?
Yes, I was an executive on Wall Street and I taught group fitness part-time. It was just so that I could eat whatever I wanted and work out and maybe have some cash on the side. And I didn't really make it a passion until when I got pregnant with my son. I was working for a major bank and I went into preterm labor and I was on disability. While I was in the hospital, I was 26 weeks pregnant. They laid me off. So I ended up never going back. My son was born premature, and then I stayed home with him for the first 2 years. He was very, very sick. That's a whole nother story. So this is my second quarantine because I lived through a quarantine already with my son. So
How old is he?
He's now 9. Super healthy, super strong, thank God. But I think the shift to fitness, to Lisa's point, was I would have gotten fired from my job because I would have been taking him to doctor's appointments. My son thought a doctor's office was the playground. They were like, wow, he's such a happy baby. I'm like, this is all he knows. He doesn't know playground. So for me, it was flexibility. It was just being able to set my own schedule. I knew the gyms that I was working at had daycare, so I could bring him with me. And it just made life easier because I could be there for him when he was so fragile. And even now, I mean, homeschooling is no joke.
Yeah, we were just talking about that.
We'll talk about that pre-show.
Yeah, he's very quiet, so I don't know what's going on up there.
Something's happening.
No idea what's going on. So it's really funny because people will say to me, I had no idea that you worked on Wall Street. I'm like, yeah. That's where I started, and then kind of dove in and got certified as a personal trainer and got through all that, stuff.
That is so interesting.
I love that there's such diversity of that. I mean, all of us have had that where you go through the transition and you come to whatever you're passionate about by whatever means. Jill's done it. She moved from Rochester and was doing branding and events. Oneonta. Priya, she's gone through she used to be a power lifter.
Past life. Yeah, long time ago.
Awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
Joel, you may be the only one out of all of us that have been doing what you're doing the whole time. 20-something years, Joel?
I can't hear him.
Joel, we can't hear you.
He's messing with you.
What was your mindset? What was your thinking going from that very aggressive background to now fitness? And I mean, fitness can get aggressive and competitive, granted, and physically taxing, but I mean, it's also stress reducing. So
Yeah.
what was your thinking and mindset with the transition?
Yeah. Start with you, Lisa.
Sure. With me, it was what I use as my, like, to take out aggression. You know, that's how I kind of saw it. You know, after so many days of, you know, being out there live and in any kind of weather, it could have been a blizzard, it could have been a rainstorm, and you just come home and you're on 4 hours sleep and you're exhausted. You got to do with your kids, and you're just like, I need to work out. Like, I need to just get this aggression out and get to it. And I started, you know, if I didn't work out during that time, I don't think I would have survived as long as I did, which was like 18 years in the business. I don't think I would have survived that long.
How do you even work out on 4 hours of sleep? That's crazy.
You just do. I know. You just do. You make it a ritual and a habit. Like, I would come home just about in time to get my kids from school, come home as they would start homework. That was my trigger to start my workout. You know, and I would work out at home. So I've been working out at home, you know, forever. And that's how I did it. But then I started wanting to do it to enjoy it. You know, like, I didn't enjoy it. I was just doing it to get the aggression out. And so that's when that switch changed, is when I started doing it because I wanted to. Like, I looked forward to it, not just because I wanted to get my aggression out, but because it made me feel good, you know, inside. So that's how it kind of changed for me, and how I've used it moving forward.
And how do you use it with other people?
Sure. Well, now I do, because I coach people online. So I coach people online in different challenges that I host every month, but I also do speaking engagements. So I speak to corporations. I speak at conferences upcoming, if they ever happen again, about living healthy lifestyle. So that's the way I've been able to do it and keep communicating with people online and in person at engagements.
Oops.
So now we have to mute Joel.
We got Joel back, and then he muted and whoops, hold on. I'm trying to unmute him and I can't. Why can't I unmute him? All right, don't touch it. This is like hilarious today. I don't think technology could be worse. Joel, unmute yourself. I don't know why I'm not able to unmute you. This keeps happening where I
Hello.
Yay!
Joel's in the house.
That's right. Never actually left.
Joel,
Very great. Very
awesome.
great.
So, I love it. So Lisa, it's so interesting because you actually went through it, and now you're able to show people how they can transition and go through the same kind of thing as you. And there's, you know, it's a lot of people do that. They work X number of years in one area. We talked about it, like all of us have done this transition and gone into something else. And you went from one really aggressive, strong, you know, taking up all your time with 4 hours of sleep, you still managed to figure it out.
Yeah, and you do, and you prepare. You know, I knew that I wasn't happy where I was, so I was preparing as I was working. You know, I was studying to become a certified personal trainer, you know, at the same time that I was working. You know, like right now I'm studying for nutrition certification. Like, I'm kind of doing all these things.
Which brand are you studying for?
Oh, NASM. Yeah.
Oh, NASM. Okay, cool. Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I love it.
Right
love
on.
it. Awesome. And then Erica did a similar kind of transition. And the funniest thing is you two actually know each other from college.
Yeah, and what's interesting is we studied the same thing. So when I was doing working on Wall Street, my first job was actually in media. So it was in corporate communications. So I was actually dealing with the press and dealing, not in the same capacity as Lisa, but we were basically it was a, I hate to say this, but it was a rat show. It was just literally like I was dealing with London and dealing with Japan, and I was up at all hours because I had to make sure that the news that hit the market, I had to take all that news, and I worked with the executive team. So these guys were in the office 5 a.m. and I'm there 4:30 a.m. preparing all the press packets and getting all the information to them, and then going out and meeting with the reporters and making sure, did you get this angle? Did you what's our brand? You know, all this. So it was very hustle, bustle. And I was probably working at that time close to 80-hour work weeks, but I was teaching 15 to 20 group fitness classes a week.
Wow.
Oh man,
I
insane.
And I was doing I actually competed in bodybuilding, so I did that as well, which would not recommend that, but
You're a little type A, huh?
a little bit. But you know, to Lisa's point, I think at that time I was very young. I mean, I was in my 20s. I didn't have family. I didn't have responsibilities, and you're just running, and you're not really thinking about working out per se. Like I enjoyed teaching my classes, but I wasn't really doing it for myself. I was just teaching to teach, and it wasn't until my health was a real problem and I hit rock bottom, like my own health was in jeopardy, that working out became more than just to make money. It was, I have to do this or I'm gonna, be really sick. And if I'm really sick, then how can I take care of my family? I can't, really do that. So once I was going through that process and that transition of getting my own health together is when I realized how many, my son was just about going into daycare at that time. And I remember moms hearing them talk about the struggle of post-pregnancy and how do I get my body back, and I'm so stressed out and I'm so frustrated and I don't know what to eat, and all that. And to Lisa's point, I was taking classes and just really trying to get myself prepared so that I could eventually do that. And when I knew that, my husband was building our gym, and I remember the day that I came down and I'm like, I know you're not going to use the gym, so I'm just going to start a business. Is that
Right on.
He's
Right
like,
on.
really? Really? I want to use the gym. I'm like, no, you're not going to use it.
This is mine.
Use it. And so we started building it, and it was great because the community was really small where I am, and everybody just kind of knew each other. And so it was like word of mouth.
Hello.
I didn't have social media. I didn't have a Facebook account. I didn't have Instagram. I didn't have any of that when I first started out. It was word of mouth. It was literally other moms like, do you know her? She's a trainer. You should know her. Do you know her class? Go to her class. And that's how it started. Probably the first 2 years was strictly word of mouth.
Wow.
And then, somebody was like, you might want to get an Instagram account. I'm like, what is that? And so then it was like, I actually took classes in social media training because I was like, I have no idea what this is.
I love it.
Well, Joan is a social media strategist. So.
Yes. Well, Joan, I'm going to need your help.
Absolutely. Joel and I, we talk about this all the time, and he started doing he started doing this 8 a.m. when he turned 50 every morning for 10 minutes at 8 a.m. Joel, tell us about that.
Yeah, well, I first want to acknowledge, you guys are so interesting. You fitness pros, you fitties, great stories. I hope that we could collaborate. I think I've been in the business for a very long time in many capacities, and the only corporation I ever worked for was really like a very big YMHA, a Jewish one. That's world renowned. It's closed now because of the COVID, but I learned a lot, and I've been globally traveling, certifying fitness pros and coaches as well and stuff. We should probably all create some kind of a network, at least some kind of communication. And you guys look Spanish descent.
Yes.
And Erica as well.
Yes, I was just saying, I'm only Italian by injection only. I'm Puerto Rican.
Me too.
You're Puerto Rican, gotcha. My wife is Dominican, and I would love to have you guys sometimes at some point meet her just to talk about her. She's great. She's trying to do she's just starting keto diet, and I think it would be really powerful I know her community of friends. So anyway, I just feel very close to you guys already. With that said, and Erica, I think I know your name from somewhere. Did you work at Equinox, or do you work in Equinox?
I used to teach at Equinox, yes.
Okay, we probably crossed paths.
Back in the day.
Were you there in the 90s? In the 90s, or?
Oh God, you're gonna make me say how old I am?
I'm 50.
25, Erica. 25.
20.
Dude, I
All right, it's all good. It's all good.
It's
It's all
hard
good.
to remember, like
Yeah.
every year.
So okay, it's all good. It's all good. You look fantastic. Whatever it,
That's
whatever
what
it's
this is all about.
Um,
We'd like to bring you together so you can start to get to know each other and
Yeah.
create something new from this. That's perfect.
Well, and it's
So-
interesting that you say
so-
that, Joel, because I think when the pandemic hit and gyms were closing, it was really interesting to me. The one thing that I noticed was that fitness professionals were really struggling to have a network to connect with if they didn't have some professional association like IDEA or through your own personal training certification, associations. And I would see people writing stuff on Facebook and it was like there was no mentoring. Like I felt like a lot of people said they were struggling with that. So it was
Interesting.
just interesting to me that was going on, behind the scenes.
Yeah,
You guys can create something.
I think it's so. Yeah, I have my own certification, which I'm not going to talk about today, but I'm affiliated with many of the ACSMs. Everything I do, I teach a lot of the fitness pros as well as life coaches. I do continuing education for them, and so yeah, I think it really is helpful. Then I'm on a few networks that if we could friend each other on Facebook, I could get you into that group.
I have each other's emails too, so make sure you
Okay.
guys get in touch.
Yeah. We'll connect. But just to answer Joan's, so on March 21st is my birthday. I turned 60. No, just kidding. I turned 50. And and my kids were just a few weeks before I turned 2. So I have twins, and
I'm a twin.
and so right on. A boy or a girl?
I have a twin brother.
Wow, mine are girl and boy.
Is running around.
And what's your brother's name?
Edwin
and Erica. We have Sarah, Juliana, and Julian Israel.
And thank
So
God, because they were going to name me Edwina. Thank God they didn't do that.
That's
Well,
a
we
nice
call.
name. You'd be little Eddie.
I said to my mom, what were you thinking?
we call our daughter by her middle name,
Yes.
Juliana, and he's Julian. So so it's gonna get confusing, I'm sure. But anyway, so like with having twins at a young age, and I know you talked about kids and stuff, is like there's really not a lot of celebration for the father of the babies. There was actually no, especially with a pandemic, there was like, okay, no acknowledgement of my birthday. So I decided I was gonna okay, what do I want? What do I like most? I like people. I like interaction. I like community. I also like being celebrity. I was Fitness Idol set 2017 through the SCW traveling university, fitness university. So so like, how could I be the virtual celebrity? And I go, it just starts with doing it and then see where it evolves. Yeah. And so so I started life coaching for the Fit Soul with Joel, and occasionally I have Juliana and Julian as well on it. But most of the time it's just me. But occasionally, if I'm not getting enough people on the show or responding, I throw them in the pictures on the advertisement, and then suddenly like everybody shows up. But basically, it's like I have life coaching tips, the daily 6. Like it could be smile into the mirror for 7 seconds until you believe it. Make your bed. Floss your teeth. Have vegetables as the first meal of the day so that you don't have the sugar cravings. Most of us have sugar and carbohydrate meals. And so it's okay to have it, but have the carbohydrates come from, vegetables. And then you could have your coffees and your like a sugary thing, whatever that is, oatmeal or something like that. And what was that? What was that, Joni?
No sugar. There's no sugar though. I can have this. I'm allowed to have this.
Yeah, you could put that in your coffee, or you could put it in your oatmeal. Again, but it's forced down the things that you don't want to do. I've been doing this for a couple of months now, and sometimes, like I had mentioned a few times, brush your teeth lefty if you're righty, or vice versa. Get used to start working on the other sides of the body that don't usually use, because also it staves off Alzheimer's. Studies have shown, and also like you get to access areas of you, instead of just always doing something that you're good at and that you're fixed in your ways. You don't know what's going to happen if you start brushing your teeth on the other side, you know. And also the skill of writing and reading. So the first month was write a letter to someone who was important to you. So my father had just had an operation.
Joel, we lost you.
Uh-oh.
Joel, we lost you. Hold on, Joel.
Okay.
We lost you.
Okay, he's back.
I believe you.
So, you know, it's so funny. You've pivoted tremendously since the pandemic happened. Lisa and Erica, how have the two of you pivoted since we've all had to go into quarantine? What have you done differently than what you were doing before to train your clients?
Start with you, Lee. Lee,
Sure.
I'm calling you Lee
Sure.
like I know you.
You're my girl.
Start with you, Lee. How did you pivot?
Well, I was always coaching people online, so that stayed because a lot of problems is, you know, gym clothes and fitness trainers didn't know how to do it digitally. So at least I had that, you know, I was already doing that. But where I suffered the most was my speaking engagements. Like I had just launched this, you know, business and I was booking corporate engagement and then everything shut down. So the way I had to pivot was, okay, how can I maybe do a digital course? You know, maybe now I should focus on the book that I want to finish, you know, so I'll have it ready for my next speaking engagement.
Right on.
So that's kind of how I've been pivoting now.
Love it. I love it. And it's so interesting. And Erica, how did you pivot? So I want to talk about afterwards. I want to talk about how you three as fitness gurus are so different.
So basically,
how did you pivot?
To Lisa's point, I was also already coaching people online, and I had also set up with clients that I had for personal training because they were moms, and a lot of times something happens with the kids and they couldn't come to a session. I was already setting up a Zoom call with them. Like, okay, if you can't come to me or I can't come to you, let's hop on a video call and I can still walk you through a workout. And so it was pretty easy to transition most people. I think where it got challenging is that people just either experienced cuts in their salary just to keep their jobs, so they couldn't afford personal training anymore. I think that the people who were going to my group fitness classes, I teach virtually, but I think it's different. People feel that it's different, even doing it virtually. Like, it's great that you get to see people, and I always pin myself, and then I see everybody, so I'm cueing, and if somebody's knees are going forward, I'm cueing that person, and they freak out because they're like, oh, right, you can see me. Well, yeah, I can see you. But it's different because you don't have them in the same room. So your vibe is different. Your energy is different. So I feel like I've had to pivot back to my nonverbal communication days where I'm reading people's nonverbals. And I am actually going beyond, like, almost like dramatic in a Zoom call, because these people are like, I mean, imagine two people, right? And they're like this.
Make it bigger. Yeah.
You know, and you're like, but, you know, woo! Like, it's just, everything has to be, so it's funny because that's something that I actually busted out with old books. Like, okay, nonverbals, read this, like, go through stuff, like, go back to your days of communication, right? Like, you have to communicate, you're cueing differently. So I hadn't had to brush up on all of that, you know, communication skill, because it's different when you're with somebody in person. I think you can skip over some things, you know, when you're with somebody in person sometimes.
You know, it's so funny because Priya and I always did this show in person, and we pivoted from doing it in a studio to doing it in my apartment in my kitchen. So I'm still here. There's nobody right next to me. So it's like, you know, the pivot has to happen like this. And we used to have Jill was always virtual, but we'd have Joel here with us. Literally, we'd turn it around, we'd do some exercises in person. And we've had to pivot, like Joel and he'll be walking with me virtually in Central Park and say, okay, now you have to turn around and walk backwards to trick your brain and your body. And I'm like, okay. And so your mind, I think when you have to do something regardless, because Jill, you've had to do this many times in your life too. When you have to do this, Priya moved from Florida back to New York. When you have to do something, you don't have a choice. This is not a choice for any of us. You have to retrain your brain whether you like it or not. It's just, it's there. It is what it is. And you three as fitness are so completely different, but yet so in sync with each other. Like, it's really interesting to hear all of your three stories. And, you know, Joel, normally with Joel, we you know, say do some exercises at the end, but in this case, you are almost like a tripod, the three of you, and you really could support one another with all the different things you're doing and the different audiences you're reaching.
Absolutely.
No, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Get in touch with Joan. Make her work out. Make her do some 10 push-ups.
So I'm looking for some tips, if I may.
Yes.
So first of all, Erica, I'll start with you. I have to say, I actually opened the New York Stock Exchange once. So working on Wall Street, I can't even imagine, because what I observed was, I can't even describe it to anybody. What you see on TV is nothing like what it is in person. And then Lisa, I was always doing events and different things on the other side of PR. I had the journalists that, you know, were reporting things I was telling, but I understand through the rain, the snow, the show must go on, the edits, and so that high energy, the jobs that you have. So I'm an A-type personality. I always move forward at, you know, 120 miles an hour, and I go in with both feet. Where I struggle, looking for tips here, is...
And how come you didn't mention me?
Yeah, I'm getting to you, Joel. Don't you worry. Starting with the ladies first here.
Okay. I'll mute myself.
Aquaman.
With the A-type personality, when it comes to, you know, well, here's the transition. Is Joel is doing an 8 o'clock show every day on Facebook out of the kindness of his heart. Me, I understand fitness, I've had trainers, I'm going that whole route. But when I have a hiccup in my program, that A-type personality, I know I need to do it for my health. I know what to do. But once I break the
pause.
When I pause, exactly, I don't know how to get back on. Here I have Joel, 8 o'clock.
Every day.
Every day. How do you do that with an A-type personality? How do you get yourself back?
Back on the wagon.
I don't feel like a failure. You know, I know I'm not a failure, but it's
Jill, you're not a failure, and you're not unlike all of us. I do
all
the
been
same
going
thing.
through that.
Joel knows the truth. But my dad is on with him every day. But yeah, ladies, I would love, and Joel too, I would love to hear how you help people get back on the wagon.
Yeah, because we all have like the freshman 15 right now.
or freshman 15 at least.
I think at least, I mean, I won't speak for Lisa or Joel, but what I can tell you from myself personally, because it was something that just, so here's what I usually ask my, if I'm going to work with someone and I do the consultation. Consultation is really important because this is where it's almost like we're dating, and I need to like really get a good feel if we're going to be a good match for each other, because you don't always jive with somebody and you might not always be able to work with that person to get them to their goals. You might just, I don't know, sometimes it just, I've turned people away just because I knew it was going to be a waste of my time. So that's something that you have to, you know, think about the value of your time. But for me, what I always ask every single person that I choose to work with is, what is your why? Ultimately, what is deep in your why that's going to make you get up when you don't want to get up? When you're tired, when you were up all night, or you ate God knows how much, you know, over the holidays, and now you're in a slump for 2 days and you don't really want to meal prep. What is it that is going to supersede all that stuff and still make you do it? And you have to have, I think, a really deep reason. And that reason, like, I will literally, in the first 30 seconds that I wake up, I just say my son's name, Tristan. Okay, I'm up. because I've been through so much with my son, almost losing him 3 times and thinking that my health was in such a bad state that he would potentially not have a mom to care for him. That was like, boom, Erica, get your poop together, get your ass up and go and do it. And that's not to say it's perfect, because sometimes I come down here and I kind of like go through the motions, like I'm not all, there, but I'm showing up. And so that's what I try to tell people, like, when life is always going to hit with something, right? Yeah. Life is always going to throw something at you. But if you don't have something really solid in place, mentally, emotionally, deep in your soul, I feel like you're just going to let it go because it's not that important. You know what I mean?
Did you notice that common phrase? Joel, you use it. Show up.
Show up, yeah.
And actually, Joel, this whole thing when you turned 50, I remember it with your dad, and when you turned 50, it became all about your why, that you wanted to be there and healthy and make other people healthy for their families and their kids, or who have dogs.
Yeah, my why, what I do is I'm committed to a world of wealth, WELLTH.
Wealthy.
Love it.
I love
wealthy world.
Why? That's a good why.
So, if that's an underlying why, for the people around you, then you get up. Then you get up thing. To answer your question, what do I do? What I've done, I should say, I haven't done it lately. But I go to the people's home and I just wake their fucking asses up. I'm just like, get the fuck out of bed. Or I'll show. Hey, if you're hiring, I'm going. And then, or show up in their office. And like, okay, you're in the business meeting. Okay, great. Get down and do a plank for 15 seconds, and then I'll leave.
Do you really?
I have done it.
You can call and text, because you can't really come here, but you can call and text someone and remind them of what they're doing and why they're doing it.
Yeah, and sometimes even just smile into the mirror, and then like, oh shit, that's right. You know what? Like, I realized how tense I was. I got so caught up with important things that I really just need to smile and regenerate and rebrand myself for the day.
Yeah. And there are always going to be those days where, like, I know for me, and we've talked about this many times, where you really just don't feel like it. You really just don't feel like it. And Lisa, I'm sure you have gone through this, where you knew you had to be on air. You have to be on air. Rain, sleet, snow, no matter what, you have to be on air. And, you said 4 hours sleep and you would still do the workouts. So what tips do you have? How did you motivate?
Yeah, I think it was, and what Erica was saying about the why is that sometimes it'll change as you grow as a person. Like I started when I first figured out my why, because I've lost about 50 pounds and I've kept it off for about 15 years. So my first, thank you. My first why was because after I had my son, and I was tired of, I would always take him out of the car in the car seat, and I would go up the stairs to my apartment, and I would always be out of breath. And I was just tired of being out of breath. And I knew if I wanted to be there for all of his milestones, and he's graduating high school tomorrow and going to college.
Yay!
Wow.
Yeah.
We have a 9-year-old. We have 2 2-year-olds, a 9-year-old, and an 18-year-old.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
And I have a daughter too, who's 12. But it was just that, that was my why. And then it changed, then my why started becoming, as I had my daughter, like more toward, okay, I have to be a great role model for her because I want her to be a strong woman, it became, and then my why transitioned to, I want to motivate other people, and so it started growing. And it wasn't until last year, maybe 2 years ago, after I left my full time at TV, then I said, my why is because of me. Like, I want to be happy for me. And that was just really a game changer for me, because I never woke up saying I'm here because I'm happy for myself. It was always putting someone else first and never putting myself first. I was always at second. So I made that transition, and I started thinking about that. Like, I should be happy and proud of myself because I was always trying to prove my worth to everybody, you know, oh, I have to be your friend, or you have to like me because of this and this. And I finally said, you know what? I'm worthy. Like, I made that switch. And when I made that switch, that totally changed the mental aspect of it, because working out is physical, yes, but until you get that mental switch, that's what's going to drive you. So.
And
Yes.
that relates to you, Erica. Same kind of like, it's got to come from you. Joel, you say it's got to, even though the outside factors, it's got to come from you.
Yeah.
So now post-COVID.
When? When?
Post.
Yeah.
When?
I've had people
I can't envision.
there are people who literally just say, like, how am I going to sustain this, right? Because now it's going to probably change again, and you don't really know what's going to happen. And I say, well, you know, if you're grounded in that, you will be adaptable, you will be flexible, and you will get it done. That, you know, you can't really beat yourself up too much too. I know I tend to do that a lot. I've just started a new program and it's bar related. I am not graceful. I mean, I had the chair and I knocked the chair over. I was trying to do all these moves. I'm like, I'm a fitness person. I should be able to do this. I should be able to, you know, like, engage my core, and I should be able to kick my leg up here. And, you know, it's just sometimes I think we're also very hard on ourselves. And so I think this whole COVID situation has kind of maybe made people realize a little bit more to look deeper inside. And are you really, like, happy with what you're doing in your life? Are you happy with yourself? And how are you going to take that forward when everything does return to some sense of normalcy, right?
Yeah. Well, throw that back to Jill and Priya and me. Are we happy where we are right now? Pri?
Well, so it's funny, everybody's talking, but I'm like, you know, I think my anxiety prevents me from exercising sometimes. So I know I have to exercise. So my oldest is 18. He's also going to college. And every day he's with his 40-pound bells. He does 100 sit-ups, 100 push-ups. He's on the machine. And I'm just like, great job.
You're watching
An athletic supporter.
Yeah, I'm a great supporter. But I think my own anxiety, and because I have anxiety, I eat. I'm an emotional eater. And I'll find whatever chocolate I have in the house. These have been great.
Well, why don't you start a bar
what?
class, as in a bar class,
True.
lava bar.
I was thinking bar when
Like
you
drinks.
said bar, Erica, but I like this kind of a bar class.
And I was
Reward.
He froze.
lava.
He froze.
Yeah, so I've been
bar on
eating.
his head.
And the anxiety has been preventing me from doing. So I'm wondering, for you guys, you know, talking about post-COVID, how do we get ourselves out of the funk? Because a lot of people are unemployed.
Yeah. Oh,
A
totally.
lot of people are financially strapped. They can't afford trainers right now. But a lot of the trainers are online taking action and doing the classes, doing the 8 a.m.s like Joel, you know, and training people online. What can
On Zoom, yeah.
get out of that funk and take the next step to take control of their health, even though all these things are going on?
Well, I'll take that as like, so I've been actively doing superhero Pilates classes. So I had the Wonder Woman workout on Mother's Day, and I recorded the video, and so now I sell them. You know, I sell
wow.
So and then all the money that I get, it's $26.20 for a gas video.
Joel, we keep losing you. Hold on, Joel. We keep losing you, honey.
All to my ACA fundraising. Okay.
Joel, hold on. Your frozen screen.
Very loudly.
Joel, your frozen screen. You're not moving.
So he gives the ACA,
I believe you.
ACA the money that
He believes us. All right, can you talk above your frozen screen and we'll cut this out?
Can I talk
You're
above
moving.
my?
There you go.
Hello.
There he goes.
Try it again.
So it's
Start over.
hello. I don't even know where. I don't know where.
Why don't we pivot to Lisa and then we'll come back to
again.
Joel.
Okay.
Oh, there he goes.
You keep going in and out, so we can't hear you.
I believe you, and I hear you loud and clear. I trust me. I hear your voice.
Sucks.
So Lisa, what do you have in mind?
Well, I always tell people, because I did actually I did an Instagram live on this, is how to get out of that funk. And what I always tell people is the first thing you have to do is just basically acknowledge what is going on, because a lot of people tend to just kind of put it off, and you're not accepting it for what it is. Like, accept your situation for what it is. Like, if you may be losing your, like, hey, I'm a freelancer. Like, my hours have been cut. Like, it's reality, you know, but I've accepted it. Okay, so what am I going to do with it? You know, I'll make a plan. If this happens, then what? You know, if they cut my hours, then I'll watch my spending. If this happens, then this. You know, I kind of plan it out so that I don't freak out in a way, so that there's kind of a structure set up. And then you got to forget too, you can't not celebrate the small things. You know, people always forget, like, you know, people have those shirts that say like, I pooped today, like, yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, they put it all over Instagram. I did this, I did that today. Okay, great.
And it's just like anything, like, hey, like, I didn't kill my kids today, they're alive. Like, you know, but it's just like those little things. I always tell people, like, when I'm coaching people through and they're like, oh, I only lost like a pound this week. I'm like, that's fantastic. Like, that's a pound. Like, I mean, how can you not celebrate that? You know what I mean? And you have to kind of keep doing that, and just being thankful for a lot of things that you do have. You know, that's one of the hardest things is trying to be thankful during this time. So I always tell people for that, and to try to do something good, because when you make other people feel good, that kind of makes you feel good, you know, at the same time. So every day I always do one good deed, whether it's just texting a friend to say, hey, just thinking about you, you know, just something, because when I get that text, I know I feel good, you know. So it's just kind of things like that I do, to just acknowledge what's going on, accept it for what it is, have a plan so that you don't freak out and you can move forward.
I love it.
True. So true. Jill and I were just talking about that the other day, because she's part of a group that's making those headbands with the little buttons so that we can wear, so we don't hurt our ears wearing the bands.
Wow.
Face masks. You know, little things. Yeah, baby steps. Somebody was saying this in a meeting I was in yesterday. One step at a time. Do one thing. Yeah. Do one thing, and it sounds like, yeah.
Well, and I feel like I've told a lot of my clients, it's okay to slow down. Like, it's okay to not have 50 million things to do. You know, my life dramatically changed because my son's social life is far more active than mine. So it was like going from place to place to place, and I haven't driven my car.
Yeah.
I don't know how long already. And so I miss that, right? To some extent, I miss, you know, the being out and stuff, but I've kind of, like Lisa said, I've accepted that this is where we need to be right now. You know, my son, obviously, he has pre-existing conditions. So for me, I'm not playing around. So I'm obviously much more like, okay, I'm staying home, and sorry, buddy, I know it sucks, but this is what we have to do because you need to stay healthy. And I feel like just enjoying that slow down of not having to be in 50 different places in 1 hour. Like shuffling here and shuffling there and getting up this time and getting up at that time and running to this gym and running to that client. Like, everybody's on the computer and I log on and I'm like, hello. It's like, just slow down. Like, it's okay. And I'm a type A, like you, Jill, that, you know, I got my to-do list, like, check that stuff off. And I've had to realize, like, oh, wow, the to-do list is different now. It's a different to-do list. So my to-do list has changed, where now it's like I have to be more present for my son, because he is like, this is crazy, Mom, this whole Google Classroom thing. Like, what do I have to do? Do I have to be on the computer? Do I have to turn the camera on? I'm like, okay, we got to coach you through this, buddy. No, it's hard. It's hard. He's 9. He doesn't understand. He's like, why can't, you know, my husband's a frontline worker, so he's out there every day, and it's like he can't really hug them that much. And why, Mom? Why can't people hug? And why do I have to wear a mask if I walk down the block? Like, it's hard for them to grasp it, and they're champions for what they're going through right now. And I think a lot of times I say to myself, I need to recognize that like my kid is a champion for doing this, for being locked up this long. And, you know, just, I tell him, be grateful that you woke up today, buddy, and your health is good.
You know, and you're a champion.
Thank you.
All of you are champions.
No, seriously, you are all champions because you're still doing what you're doing. You're still motivating. I'm motivated just listening.
Yeah.
Like I know Jill too. We get on Joel's 8:00 a.m. and I often, because he tags us. He's motivating. I feel guilty if I don't do it because my dad is on it. And I'm like, Dad, I feel like, where were you today?
I made a commitment to Joel. I don't know if he's seen it in his messages, but I want to try this because he's giving 8:00. He's giving his time at 8:00, 10 minutes, and they're great exercises. So I had to play a game with my head, and so I'm going to, any day I don't show up, I'm going to donate money for the next 30 days, I'm going to donate money to his organization.
That's awesome.
Because he's giving up his time to us.
We're running for the ASPCA when we do the marathon, which is not happening this year. They've already said it's not happening this year.
Yeah.
But I have been a little, let's just be honest, I've been a little, Priya knows, a little lazy, Jill knows, a little bit lazy in my training. But you two ladies and the questions that have come up today, you've all been motivational, and God knows Joel motivates. He'll text me and I'll ignore it. I'll be like, all right, next.
So how can our listeners and our audience reach the both of you?
Yes.
Go ahead, Lisa.
Sure. For me, it's Lisa Mateo, Mateo. Lisa Mateo TV. That's Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, all the same handle. And then lisamateo.net. That's it.
So same for me. So Instagram, Facebook, Erica's Total Fitness Evolution. And my website, same thing, Erica's Total Fitness Evolution. I am on LinkedIn. And it's funny because LinkedIn is because I'm so connected to the financial services industry that way. So all of these people were like, what, Erica, what are you doing now? I'm like, I know, it's a little bit of a shift, but come and work out. You can find me on LinkedIn, and I have lots of interesting boards on Pinterest as well. So Pinterest has been a really great.
We lost Joel.
Where did he go?
He disappeared.
You disappeared. So yeah, you can find me there, but I'm more active on Instagram and Facebook right now.
Awesome. And we'll put all the information in the comments and down below on the video.
And Jill will get right on all of it.
Actually,
right on. Jill. She wants all those tips immediately.
I do.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. You know, and I think that's a really good thing to let people know that, you know, I get direct messages all the time, and sometimes people just want one simple answer to something that they've been struggling with, and it's okay, you know, like to make yourself like, you know, reach out, ask any kind of questions. Like we're open. I'm an open book, so just you know, whatever you want.
Well, I tried to pretend that the kitchen was a restaurant. I had to charge myself. That didn't work.
You know, it's funny. I live in a studio apartment, so I live in my kitchen.
That's right. There you are.
You know, and then I sometimes. Oh, Priya, I baked for you, by the way.
Oh, thanks. Ooh, you gotta freeze
I
it.
make banana bread and I give it away, but I honestly don't eat it. That is not my problem. Is not what I bake. My problem is late at night if I don't eat healthy. And Lisa, I know you're studying more with nutrition. If I don't eat healthy during the day, if I skip, then all of a sudden I'm working at 9 o'clock at night, and all of a sudden I'm hungry.
You're like, rah, yeah.
What are you gonna do? You're gonna grab whatever's easy, a piece of cheese, the bread. You're gonna make a sandwich. Cheese, make freaking salad at 11 p.m.
Nope.
Who makes a salad at 11 p.m.?
Well, you know, to your point though, Joan, I think another aspect of this is mindfulness. Because a lot of times I will ask, you know, my clients, like, well, when you feel that way in that moment, ask yourself, are you really hungry? are you bored? Or maybe you're upset, or maybe you're angry, right? Or because I know my husband, he won't eat because he is bored.
Yes.
Boredom. Like literally sitting next to me, like, I bore you that much that you are shoving your face with that bag of potato chips? Like, really? Come on, are you really hungry? Are you really hungry right now? No, you're not hungry. So I think a lot of times it's being mindful, right?
Yeah.
And really, like, because even last night, we had treats from Memorial Day, and they were sitting there, and they were talking to me, and I was like, I'm gonna pass. But it's mindful. Like, I had to really tell myself, like, no, I'm not gonna eat it. I'm not gonna eat it because I don't like to feel that guilt after. That feeling is worse.
Yep.
So
Yes.
I don't want to do it. I'm like, you know what? Why do I want to make myself feel that by eating it? Like, no. If I can't eat it and actually enjoy it, then I'm not gonna eat it. So that's, like, I will enjoy that glass of wine, especially during this quarantine. I can enjoy the glass
Yes.
of wine.
Yes.
And on that note,
Sorry.
we reached the end of our fabulous show
But this
without
is
our glasses of wine.
I know.
I love it. Yeah, I've been drinking water, but this has been beautiful. This is what
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. All of you, like, all of the contribution today makes it what it is for us, and this is what we want. We like to, I like to call us thinkertainers, and we think and entertain at the same time. Priya hates that, and
I hate that word.
decided to keep it. I don't know, it just speaks to me. I keep saying it. But the point of bringing it together, the point of having Jill and Joel as part of this, because you never know where an inspiration or something will come from to inspire you and bring you together. Like, you ladies are amazing, and I guarantee you'll find ways to connect and work together just the way we all have. So it's a beautiful thing. And Joel, he's the trainer of trainers. He really is. I've watched him in action training trainers and certifying them. And it's pretty cool.
Absolutely.
It's pretty cool. So we are so honored you could be with us today, you non-Italians.
Puerto Rican by, Italian by injection.
Injection, by injection.
I love that she said that. I love that, because I'm Sicilian and I use that as an excuse for everything. Every time something comes up, I'm like, but I'm Sicilian. You don't understand, but I'm Sicilian.
When you see my son,
I'm that half the Sicilian, not the other half.
I think I'm his nanny.
All right, ladies. Well, it's been a joy. Thank
This
you all
has
for
been
tuning
another episode of Follow Me Friday with
Joan
and Priya. And we just love you guys. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mwah.
Soon.
Be safe.